Always great catching up with my next guest, Justin Jaynes, who's going to be back in action, this time at lightweight, taking on Gabriel Benitez at UFC Fight Night on December 5th. Justin, how's it going, man?
Hey, man, going good. Just enjoying this cool Vegas weather. It's about 50 degrees here in Vegas. So, yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm ready to go.
And must be happy to get this fight rescheduled. Of course, you guys were supposed to fight earlier. And, sometimes when that happens, they don't give you the original opponent. So was this the fight you always wanted?
Yeah, man, it's a great matchup for the fans. It's a great matchup for him. It's a great matchup for me because, again, we're not pulling any punches here, man. The game plan's simple. It says, again, fight a night written all over it. He doesn't have any really interest in doing any wrestling or grappling. I don't really have any interest in doing any wrestling or grappling. We're just going to go in there and try and knock each other's heads off for 15 minutes, man. So it's going to be a great setup for the fans, and I'm super excited about it.
There's been a lot of really good performances this year in the UFC. And, when you're talking about fighter of the year, performances of the year, you think of a lot of different names, but you have got to be up there. I know you didn't win your last fight, Justin, but that was a super entertaining fight with Gavin Tucker. I know things didn't go your way, but did you feel like your stock continued to rise even after a fight like that? Because it was just such an entertaining fight.
You hear a lot of fighters say they're always, even when they win, I'm unimpressed with my performance and this and that is, I was put in a tough situation, man. And, I did the best I could given the circumstance. I had 3.5 weeks to make featherweight. I haven't made featherweight in 25 years, basically. And, when the UFC calls and, they knock on my door, I answer, man. I said I was going to show up. I said I was going to make weight. The weight cut was a lot harder than, I shouldn't say it was harder than I thought it would be. It was just, I knew it was going to be tough. It was probably the hardest weight cut I've ever done. I made weight. I showed up. I gave it everything I had, but after I dropped him and, had that guillotine attempt, man, it was hard. My body was having a really hard time recovering. Fortunately, this fight's back at lightweight. So I'm not going to, although it's only been a couple weeks, we were scheduled to fight. I got COVID. And then when I recovered, he got COVID. So, trying to make featherweight on a couple week notice again would be tough. The UFC and Sean are working with me and him to put us at lightweight. I think we're both going to show up. We're both going to be in shape, and this is going to be a slobber knocker. Awesome.
So is the plan then to stay at lightweight, I guess, going forward? I think after the last fight, you're probably like, yeah, it's not really worth it cutting that extra weight.
The plan's just to fight wherever I get the opportunity to. As I've discussed with my manager, as I've discussed with the UFC, is I can compete at featherweight, but I need the time. These short 2-3 week camps are just not enough. And, and people have told me, well, why don't you just keep your weight lower? It's like, to keep my weight low enough within striking distance for featherweight is just miserable. And I would hate my life all the time. I walk typically about 170, 175, normal. And, if and when I go, I shouldn't say if, when I go back to featherweight, I need 6 weeks minimum, ideally 8 weeks, just so I can get my weight honed in. At lightweight, I'm ready to go all the time. I'll make weight on a week's notice. I'll make weight, as I've shown before, on 2-day notice. So I'm always in shape. I'm always ready to go. Just the preparation for the weight cut is, I just need time for featherweight, man. And like I said, I can bang with anybody at lightweight anytime.
You mentioned getting COVID. When did that happen?
I got diagnosed with COVID on October 18th.
Okay.
Again, I was training. I was getting my weight down for this fight, and I was having a sparring session. My coach Dennis was there, and at that night, he's like, "Hey, man, I just went and got tested. Got my rapid results. I test positive. I advise you get tested. I get tested the next day. I was positive as well. I was like, God damn it. COVID was very easy for me. It was nothing more than a common cold. And I quarantined for 2 weeks. And when I got back into the gym, I felt like shit. My gas tank was very, very depleted, to say the least. And it's probably a mixture from having COVID, from sitting on my ass for 2 weeks, literally. I just sit in the house. But Jason called me and asked if I could make featherweight in 2 weeks. I said absolutely not, but I can do lightweight. And sure as shit, here we are. We rebooked, and I'm very excited about this matchup.
Style-wise, I mean, you mentioned it. It's going to be a striking clinic, I think, between the two of you. Is there any sort of edge you have in terms of, the fight? Like, what do you, from a style perspective, how do you look at this matchup?
Man, from a style perspective, he's very crisp. He's very clean. He has great straight punches. He's a great, tall, lengthy southpaw. And I'm the opposing opposite. I have like a 43-inch reach. Like, I'm going to make this dirty. I'm going to get in his face. I'm going to put my head on his chest and try and put him against the fence and knock him out. When I say put him against the fence, I don't mean that in a grappling exchange. I mean put him in a place to where he can't back out. So my short arms, my little T-Rex arms can, try and knock his head off because I know he has a significant reach advantage, as every opponent usually does on me. So again, I'm just moving forward, going to eat some shots coming in, and hopefully my punches land harder than his do.
In terms of training partners, who are you getting to work with this time around?
For this training partner, for this camp, I've worked a lot with Brian Caraway because, he's incredible guillotine defense. Roman Isbell, one of my coaches, he's an incredible southpaw that can imitate this range. Zach Thorne, up and coming pro at Extreme Couture, is a great rangy southpaw that's just giving me an incredible looks. Another guy, an amateur fighter, Duke 2, who just has a relentless gas tank that he'll line up southpaw and go for me. I've just had incredible training partners and incredible coaching for this staff. Transitioning from fighting Gavin Tucker to this guy, they're both southpaws. So, I've been getting ready to fight a southpaw for 6 months, it feels like. When we get in there and he starts throwing that hard-ass left kick, I've already seen it. It's nothing I haven't seen before. Gavin Tucker threw some devastating left kicks, and I expect the same out of Gabriel as well. Or he goes by Mowgli. So I expect the same hard left kicks and a hard left hand. And like I said, I'm going to get punched. Hopefully, I can punch him harder than he can punch me, though.
How's lightweight? The cut to lightweight going?
I'm like 2 pounds heavier than where I want to be ideally. I was 172 when I woke up this morning. I think I'll start, and a lot of my meals have been I've been working with Evolve and Evolve Nutrition, which has been an incredible company. But some of the meals have a little bit more sodium than I care for. And I think when I start cutting down back on my sodium Sunday, the weight's just going to fall off. Awesome.
Who's going to be in your corner for this fight?
This is a very, very cool and emotional fight for me, regardless of opponent. Dennis Davis, always my head coach in my corner. Roman Isbell, co-head coach, him and Dennis. And then, a special guest that's, very important to me is my dad is going to be my third man in the corner. He's battling cancer right now. He's battling heart disease right now. He's terrified of COVID, but he's going to come out of his house for the first time in months, fly to Vegas, and be in my corner. And me realizing that this is possibly the first and last time he'll ever see me compete live in the UFC, because of COVID restrictions. This is a very emotional. I'm very excited. I can't wait for him to make the walk with me because, again, this could be the first time and the last time that he's able to do this. So I am so excited. I know he's so excited. And like I said, my emotions are just through the roof right now. He's been battling cancer for a couple of years now. His health's just on a constant decline. So I'm very excited. I'm very grateful that Jason House and the UFC has been able to work out so he could be the third man in my corner.
Wow, that's unbelievable. I had no idea, man. Sorry to hear that. I mean, that's, it's terrible to hear. So he's coming all the way from Michigan then, right? Was there any precautions of them being like, hey, maybe you shouldn't fly?
Against his better judgment, he's not supposed to be flying. He has some very bad blood flow in his legs. So the doctor advised him not to get on a plane because of blood clots. But he don't give an F. He's just like me. He's going to show up. He's going to blow up. He's going to make that walk. And I plan to make it the best day of his life.
Wow. That's unbelievable. I mean, obviously, yeah, like you said, fighting for more than just, just your regular paycheck here on this one. So appreciate you being honest about that. I mean, that's crazy to hear. How's the fight playing out on the 5th? You feel like you're going to get your hand raised, but how do you envision the fight playing out?
I can't see. I mean, he's such a powerful puncher and a rangy puncher. I can't see this going past 2 rounds, man. It's like I said, with the pressure I'm going to bring and his counter punching and his, and his style too. He's going to try to get me to overcommit on my shots, which I promise you I'm going to overcommit because I'm committing 100% behind every shot because I want to knock this guy out. I want my dad to see me knock somebody out in the UFC and be a part of that. So if this guy thinks I'm going to pitter-patter around for 3 rounds, he's mistaken. I'm throwing 100%. I'm throwing 100 miles an hour on every punch, on every kick. And, I want to make an example of Gabriel Benitez, no disrespect to him, dude. The guy's been in the UFC for like 5-6 years, man. But this is my time. And this extra motivation with my dad being in the corner, he better expect that I'm throwing 100 miles an hour on every punch. And I expect the same from him, and I wouldn't expect anything else. But I can't see this going past 2 rounds.
Is the plan to go home for the holidays this year? I know with COVID it's a little bit difficult, but I know, you got a lot of family back in Michigan.
Yeah, definitely, man. As soon as this fight's over, December 5th, I'm gonna do an elk trip, making sure I come out uninjured. I'm gonna do an elk hunting trip the following weekend. And then the following weekend or maybe 10 days after that, I'm definitely going home. I miss my family. I miss my son. I haven't seen him since August. And, I need to get back. And, I'm good on COVID for a couple months. So, and honestly, it was so mild for me that I don't give a fuck. I miss my family. I love my family. And, there's nothing more than I want to do than see my family after I win or lose a fight.
Awesome. Justin, always a great interview, man. You make my job so easy. It's very awesome to always get a chance to talk to you. It's going to be a great fight. UFC Fight Night, December 5th. Anyone you want to thank, Justin? Any sponsors, any social media? I'll give you the last word.
Hey, you know what? I want to give a special shout out to the UFC PI, man, because throughout these last couple months, I've battled a couple injuries, and I go in there. You have Heather, you have Aaron, you have Kyle, Corey, Bobby, Tara. The list goes on, and these guys take care of me every single day in the morning. And I don't think they get enough recognition from the UFC and the UFC fighters. These guys are they're behind enemy lines every day, making sure all us athletes are up to par in everything. I want to give a shout out to Evolve Nutrition, who's really kept my weight low throughout this, and sending me the pre-made meals. Cypress Sun sunglasses, man, sending me my polarized shades that float, so when I'm out fishing or hunting, I drop them in the water. I'm not worried about losing them in the water. Shout out to Self Equipment, who's been a financial support of me since day one. Shout out to Extreme Couture, my home, my family, and my team, in Las Vegas.